All right, man. WNIR, good morning.
Good morning, Couch. I think you're missing a incredible opportunity for a topic today. It's the 30th anniversary of Jerry Garcia dying.
It was Thursday.
I think it was today.
No, because I thought I mentioned it on Thursday.
Maybe I'm off.
It doesn't matter. It was Thursday. You work 6 days a week for 13 years. The days glowed. I mean, all I know is it was 30 years ago. Thursday, I thought.
Yeah, all right.
But whatever, it's okay. You want to mention?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty significant. I mean, a lot of people not only were affected by it, but are still clinging to the memory 30 years later.
Yeah, you might be right. Hold on a minute. What is today?
Today's the 9th.
All right, Saturday, August 9th. On August 8th, yesterday. Oh, now, wait a minute. Technically, you're right on a technicality. Hold on a minute. I had to pull it out here. I got it here. Hold on a minute. I had it yesterday. Jerry Garcia, lead singer and driver of the Winnebago for the Grateful Dead. Probably the Chartreuse microbus, right?
Yeah.
Serenity Knolls, a rehab center 20 miles north of San Francisco. He died technically August 9th at 4:23 in the morning. That's what fooled me. So you are correct.
Well, it's not a happy day. I certainly remember where I was, and I'm sure most deadheads did. But I walked out of the Ford Indianapolis factory, and my taper buddy from Marietta, Ohio, had left like many messages on the cell phone, and that was back in the day where you weren't allowed to bring cell phones into people's factories, and boy, oh boy, I was on a very expensive cell phone from Indianapolis to Columbus talking about it.
Right.
The guy. And these kids.
30-year career from 65 to 95. San Francisco, he was born in San Fran, August of 42, 53 years young. I mean, when Jerry went, I mean, he had health issues, but they were in a Rock Hall induction of 94. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, and they belong there. I mean, they created a genre that many bands have followed them into.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. You never saw them, did you?
Yeah, saw them at the Rubber Bowl.
Oh, you were at the Dylan Petty Dead Rubber Bowl Show.
Watch your walk, Bob Dylan. You got Bob Dylan and Tom Petty. There was a lot of singing like this going on. Dylan was in the basement mixing up the medicine. So it's the summer of 1986.
Yep.
My junior year at the University of Akron, and any geology major of any Division I school, you got to take at least a 6-credit field camp to graduate, to get your. It was a double-edged sword. The good thing about geology is you get to travel a lot. The problem is traveling. You got to have a log and write things down and keep notes, which, you know me, I'm not so good about that. Anyhow, I was jonesing to get out of Casper, Wyoming. And I flew from Gillette or somewhere with some puddle jumper down to Denver, then Denver to Cleveland. And Mom and Dad picked me up at Cleveland. And Mom, okay, how was it? So I'm riding home and from Hopkins to what Dad called Beer Can Alley, a Catherine place where we burned couches. And my car was sitting there in the back. I hadn't driven it in 6 weeks, you know. I don't even know if it had any gas in it. I wouldn't even know if the battery started. But anyhow, okay. So I take that back. We stopped at Luigi's restaurant on the way home. Dad grew up in Akron and loved Luigi's. And I do too. And then, so we got something to eat. We got home, and we're there, and, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to go. And remember when Clark Griswold went to the Grand Canyon, and he's itching to get back in the car and move, and his wife said, Clark, aren't you going to look at the Grand Canyon? And he put his arm around her, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, I've seen it. Let's go. That was me. Mom and Dad. The taillights had not hit Exchange Street, and I went out to my car, and it didn't have any gas, and the battery was dead, and I was broke. But a buddy of mine had bought the tickets, so it was the first time I ever rode an Akron Metro bus. And wow. I picked it up at Akron U, went out to the Rubber Bowl, and yeah, it was Dylan, the Dead. And on the way home, a Deadhead chick threw up on my shoes inside the bus. But yeah, so I did it once. I would have never done it again. I love the music. I just didn't like the Deadheads. I hate Deadheads, you stoner people, you. He said that to get people to call in WNIR.
There you go. Hey. I'll bet you got a ton of Deadheads listening and people that'll...
Well, hey, Deadheads, rejoice. All a friend can say. Here we go. Trump is going after the drug cartels, and he's going to decriminalize marijuana.
Good. He should.
Why?
Because it's a very good natural substance.
Have you never seen Reefer Madness? Bring me some reefers. Bring me for some reefers. Reefer was real. Did you ever see Reefer Madness?
I've been chasing the buzz that dude had on the screen for like 45 years. What are you talking about? Have I ever
Trump
seen
weighs reclassifying marijuana as less dangerous drug.
Excellent.
So, because he's considering it. This is wait a minute. This is part of a true story. That what that reference is? What?
They got busted in New Orleans.
Yeah, but what famous person in history was responsible for that?
The same dude, the dude that Kevin Costner played in the JFK movie.
Yeah. But hold on, we'll save it for somebody else. Hold on. There's another song that mentions him.
Maybe Sympathy for the Devil. I don't know.
No, there's another. The guy that arrested the Grateful Dead in New Orleans, they also arrested two men. There's your two men, okay, that started a group, famous group, and they were New York liberal hippies smoking dope, and they got busted, and they mentioned the FBI agent's name in the song lyric. What is that one?
Is it Brewer and Shipley? One took over the
No,
line?
it is not. I'll save it for someone else.
All right, that's a good one.
All right, man, take care.
If you're in business, you need customers. How do you find them? Well, here's an idea. Advertise on WNIR. It's easy. We write your commercials, then we record them, then we play them. Then customers show up at your business, and we do it all for a surprisingly affordable cost. Join the family of happy WNIR sponsors now. Go to WNIR.com and click on Advertising Info in the red menu bar or call 330-673-2323.
Got an Amazon Echo device? Just say, Alexa, play WNIR, and voila, you're listening to WNIR. Anywhere in the world, just say, Alexa, play WNIR. Powered by Window World. For windows, doors, siding, and gutters, call Window World at 800-WINDOW-WORLD or visit windowworldakron.com. This is the Talk of Akron. WNIR 100 FM. Call now, 330-673-1234. Toll free from anywhere. 1-800-669-4100. Now, here's John Couchburner Denning.
The talk of Akron, WNIR.
NIR, good morning. Hello on a Saturday morning.
Good morning, you're mentioning stoners. I thought I might call in. Say hey.
I was gonna clean my room.
That's exactly why I didn't bring the topic up.
Well,
I was gonna get up and find the broom, but then I got high.
I got high.
I made bad choices. I'm making better ones today.
All of us need to stop focusing on the lobbyists and the bloggers and the talking heads on radio.
What's up, Colorado?
Hey, you had been talking about the best guitarist, which is kind of subjective.
No, it isn't. Dave Gilmour is the greatest guitarist of all time, and he has a new documentary live at the Circus Maximus that's dropping in the theater September 17th. Dave Gilmour's the greatest guitarist ever. Hey, two measurements. The number one album of all time. We got a moon theme going on this morning. Dark Side of the Moon is now the greatest album of all time. And how he sold all his guitars to charity, and they brought $10 million. Just those two measuring things. He's the greatest guitar by measurement of that.
So everyone's running for second place. All right. Well,
That is correct.
I don't know if anybody mentioned Roy Clark.
Yes. We did have a guy play. He could play anything with strings, man.
Holy mackerel. And he could play it well, and, man, he had a good time. Dude, he just smiled. He enjoyed
I'm a picking and I'm a grinning. Yeah.
Yeah. And, anything with strings. Glenn Campbell was no slouch either.
Tequila. Da-dun-da-da-da-da. He was with the Wrecking Crew, Glenn Campbell.
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. And he played the lead. Mark Richards, if you're listening out there, when Mark left, my favorite library of musical things went with him. But I think Glenn Campbell played the opening guitar riff of Tequila.
God, there's one of him and Roy Clark playing Ghost Riders in the Sky.
I watched Roy Clark and Slim Pickens. No, it's Roy Clark and somebody did dueling banjos.
Oh, there was a few of them. Yeah, on Hee Haw he did with, I forget all their names, but like Earl Scruggs.
Yeah, that might have been it. That's, do we have that in here? No. We used to have Beverly Hillbillies in here. The Lester Flatt and somebody Scruggs, Flatt and Scruggs, Beverly Hillbillies, yeah.
Yeah, yep, back in the day. Yeah, those old banjo pickers were something else.
Who was busting all the stoner bands in the 60s, smoking weed, like Jerry Garcia mentioned about it, the other song I'm thinking of. You don't know that one?
Hoover?
Huh?
Was it J. Edgar Hoover?
It was J. Edgar Hoover. My Old School, a Green Weenie, Steely Dan, tumbles into the sea. Here it is. I tried to warn you through the U.S. mail. Man, Daddy G. Daddy G was Daddy G. Gordon Liddy, but he was, we didn't have the internet back then, and they were mailing letters and warning their friends not to come to college there at Annandale on the Hudson, Bard College, because Daddy G, I can't get to you through the U.S. mail. That's how they found out they were doing drug deals. They would send letters or whatever.
Wow. And then it was bad if the people down the hall know who you are. Is there gas in the car?
Yes, there's gas. Just clean up. Yeah, get that. Clean up all the whatever, all the drug paraphernalia, and get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, get it all out of here. Yeah, exactly.
That's Kid Charlemagne, right?
Oh yeah. Get along.
Who did that? Speaking of guitarists that nobody brought up, some of the hired guns at Steely. Who did the guitar solo in Kid Charlemagne?
Oh God, was it that guy that you got an interview with, Skunk?
No, Skunk Baxter did. Skunk Baxter did this one. He did this. Here it is. Here he is. Here's Skunk. Yeah, that's Skunk. And Skunk was the first 3 albums, but
It's funny. I got something here that smells like a skunk. I don't know what's going on here.
What's that?
I said I got something here that smells like a skunk.
Yeah. Well, I asked him on the air, are you going to make news with the Couch Burner Show in Akron, Ohio, please? Would you tell us the origin of the nickname Skunk? I heard it was that you wore army boots, part of your military-industrial complex relationship, and when you took your boots off on the bus, they stunk like a skunk. He goes, let's just keep that a quiet. Let's just keep that a secret. It adds to the allure. He wouldn't admit.
No. What do we got going now? I can hear that.
The clavinet. Who inspired Donald Fagen to use the clavinet? It is one of the... okay. It has to do with, it's not there, where they recorded it is not too far from Annandale, Bard College, on the Hudson River. There's your hint. And the guy that did it, how could I do it without giving it away? It was a kid's toy that his kids got for Christmas. Okay?
Yes.
And the forerunner to this, and it was an electric keyboard, and it made a unique sound, and he used it on a song that Rolling Stone called the 47th greatest song of all time.
Wow, the 47th.
And I've been talking about it since Memorial Day. I can't believe, man. I give you I'll leave that for someone else. What else you got?
Okay. That's it this morning.
All right, WNIR, hello.
A first-time caller. I've got a very interesting story about Jerry Garcia.
Okay.
When they were performing at the Rubber Bowl, he had an impacted wisdom tooth.
Right, I know that.
I went to one of my dentists that I insured at the time. And
that you insured at the time?
Yeah, the dentist.
You're an insurance agent. You had business insurance or liability insurance on a dentist?
Yep.
Okay, continue. That's weird.
And he pulled his tooth, and then Jerry Garcia, being a diabetic, passed out and ended up in the hospital.
Well, it had nothing to do with diabetes, but he wasn't. You know why he passed out.
Yeah,
that's why the Grateful Dead had 2 drummers. And if one of them passed out, the show could keep going on.
Well, the funny part of the story is the dentist called me and told me what happened, and he wanted to send Jerry Garcia flowers while he was in the hospital.
Ah.
And I said, no, don't send him anything, because you're the one that was part of this thing that happened.
Right.
But that was what, 1986? Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's exact. I just remember it was the year that I came back from Wyoming, so I graduated the next spring in 87. Yeah, it was, it would have been, if I went out there, it would have been around a little after July 4th, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, in 86. Now, Cullison, are you here? Cully's here. He's here. But he's making coffee. Cullison was there when they tear gas. Who'd they tear gas in the 70s? The Rolling Stones, maybe?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I was at that one. That one got really rough.
Yeah.
And it was so hot you couldn't stand it. Anyhow, I wanted to pass that on about Jerry Garcia.
All righty, man. Thanks. WNIR, hello.
How you doing? I was going to say, Andrew Jackson.
I was going to clean my room until I got high.
I made bad choices.
What do you got? What are you stoners doing up so early? You were going to talk about what?
Early. I was going to say it was Andrew Jackson, but it's not. It's somebody's folly that bought.
That is correct. And Andrew Jackson, I was watching Andrew Jackson, man. He just went into He went down to the Red Stick, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That means Red Stick in France.
They're all French.
Andrew Jackson just went in and killed women, children, dogs, cats, everybody, man. Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. But no, but the person that bought it was almost killed when a president was assassinated.
No, when Lincoln was?
Yeah.
At that time?
That is correct.
It's not Fullard?
Nope.
No, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, it's because you got bong resin in your head, like Tommy Boy.
That could be. Everything's all sticky. The wheels don't turn.
No, Putin's going to meet Trump in Alaska somewhere. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and what's crazy is you can see Russia from Alaska. In the north, everyone was making fun of Palin.
She didn't. No, that's one of those Mandela effects. Okay. Sarah Palin never said, "I can see Russia from my house."
From her house, but you can see it.
It was on Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember the young lady from Saturday Night Live. She did Sarah Palin better than Sarah Palin did.
Yeah, she was hot.
What's her name? I can't remember her name, but she said that on Saturday Night Live.
But I also wanted to say, I have a really strong dislike for the Grateful Dead. Man, they're terrible. They're a terrible band. They're like, it's like, terrible. You played a bit earlier. It's like, oh, this is like one of the greatest guitar solos. I'm like, are you serious?
I'm just saying, Larry Carlton's Kid Charlemagne by the Guitar Magazine, the guitar aficionados, they call it one of the greatest guitar solos of all time.
It must be a Democrat. They're like,
of course they're liberal. They're liberal Democrats from New York. Of course, they're all of them are all. You don't think that Bruce Springsteen is a card-carrying Republican or John Cougar menstrual cramp. That's why his producer made him go by Johnny Cougar. He goes, I can't pronounce somebody that sounds like menstrual cramp. WNIR, hello.
This is Elmer.
WNIR, hello.
Couchmeister.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, your poll question about going back to the moon.
If you believe we went there in the first place, yes.
Well, yeah, didn't NASA say they can't find Stanley Kubrick's note?
All right, now let's go there for a minute. Hold on 1 second, okay? Hold on, because I opened with this. As Jim Lovell passed away, 97, Houston, we have a problem, okay?
Fly me to the moon.
Scarlett Johansson, which I'm sure she's as leftist as they get, but man, I would watch her read the phone book. I love ScarJo, okay?
I'd fly her to the moon.
They did a movie that's on Netflix, or I think it's Netflix, called Fly Me to the Moon. You got to watch it if you haven't seen it, because in it, and one of those great, big, huge warehouses down there at Kennedy Space Center, the theory is that they built a landing, okay, on the moon. Here's why. First of all, they didn't know if their cameras would work, okay? And and last thing you wanted to do, so what they did was they made it look like the moon and whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then they were ready in case the cameras went out. They were going to film it in the thing, but play it like it was live from the moon. It's a very interesting movie, and it's a period piece, and I love those things. Scarlett Johansson is in it.
I got to put that on the list.
Yeah.
And that topic fascinates me beyond belief.
Oh, you'd love it, because it goes right into the Stanley. When did Space Odyssey? When did
2001?
Yeah. When did that came out in '68? Right.
68. Yeah.
And that was filmed in his London film studio over there. And that is what bred that whole thing that Stanley Kubrick is the one that produced it. But that Fly Me to the Moon, there's a guy that looks a lot like Stanley Kubrick filming it.
Lonnie Anderson passed away this week.
Yes.
She was on WKRP.
Right.
You know that that was her doorbell at her apartment.
What are you talking about?
When they would cut away on WKRP and they were filming like Lonnie Anderson, Jennifer Marlowe was at home, and somebody would come to her house, like in her apartment, her doorbell was Fly Me to the Moon.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and she would come gliding across the floor with that blonde hair.
So because I went and got that, I had Googled about Lonnie Anderson dying, okay, and KRP in Cincinnati. And, of course, the Who concert that killed, 11 people? Changed the way they do festival seating. It was the only serious episode KRP did because, it happened in Cincinnati.
I remember that.
But it brought up, of course, Burt Reynolds. And there was a Burt Reynolds. It was the last, Johnny Carson's final week in 92, Memorial Day week of 92. And Burt Reynolds was there. And I'm watching Burt Reynolds with Johnny Carson. And he said, I would have never gotten Deliverance or what was when they played Mean Machine? What was the prison football movie? Oh. Semi-Tough? Anyhow,
it's right there.
Anyhow, Burt Reynolds, he played football for Florida State.
Yeah.
He said, I would have never had any of these jobs if it wasn't for you, Johnny Carson. They said on that episode, Burt Reynolds was on Johnny Carson 61 times in 40 years. If he's not the most, I think he's the most visits ever to Johnny Carson.
Dude, Carson was so good. He was so funny and just kept we didn't know how he felt. Everybody got made fun of.
No, he made fun of Joe Biden in 1988.
Yeah, dude.
Senator Biden had to drop out of the presidential race because he ripped off a prime minister, or member of parliament, Hizik, or whatever the guy's name, word for word.
Yeah,
and Joe Biden, and here's the punchline.
Yeah.
Okay, the punchline was when Joe Biden was asked about it, he said, "Ask not what you could do for your country." Even Joe Biden's press agent ripped off Kennedy. that was the punchline.
That's funny. So, did you hear anything about Bill Barr meeting with certain prosecutors this week? The story came out about him meeting with people in the past.
Well, now, wait a minute. Bill Barr and 8 other attorney generals, including Eric, Holder, who is in contempt of Congress, and Bill and Hillary Clinton, all of them are going to have to be deposed in what's basically known as the Steele dossier Russiagate thing. Well, I didn't hear he met with prosecutors, Bill Barr.
So Project Veritas got some stuff on this. Bill Barr held secret meetings to plot prosecution of Trump dating back to March 2022. They have corresponding notes and photos revealing Barr was in talks with Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, Prosecutor Jack Smith about planning prosecutions in Florida, Georgia, and New York. Barr predicted an FBI raid on Trump's home would occur soon. 5 months later, the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago. That guy has been a snake from day one.
Look, it was Trump's second worst pick of all time. Trump's first was Jeff Sessions as Attorney General.
Correct.
And then that put Comey when Bill Clinton met with Loretta Lynch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Loretta Lynch is the one that the city of Akron wanted to pay $700,000 to investigate Akron cops. She's going to be deposed, Loretta Lynch. But because Bill Clinton compromised the Attorney General of the United States on the tarmac down there at Sky Harbor in Phoenix, that put Comey in charge. And then on July 4th of 2016 weekend, the FBI went to Bill and Hillary's house right next to George Soros's house,
Yeah.
She was not under oath. And then on the 5th of July, Comey came out with about a 9-minute speech on why Hillary should be in jail. But he said, we're not going to interfere with the presidential deal. Bill Barr was the second worst to Jeff Sessions. He was W.H.W., Daddy Bush's attorney general. He's as deep state as they come from 91 to 93. Why did he bring in Bill Barr in? I don't understand why Trump did that.
Yeah, I don't know, but that was an error. But I'm glad that what happened regarding 2020 getting stolen, because Trump's second term would have just been a continuation of no teeth.
Exactly.
Now he has a reason for retribution, not revenge. Our DOJ, I believe, is cutting some teeth. There's some stuff coming. So Obama has presidential immunity, but he can still be subpoenaed for a grand jury, and he can't lie. And if he does lie during that, his immunity.
No. The grand jury you can lie on a grand jury. It's perjury, but you can lie. He cannot plead the fifth. Is the point you're looking at?
Correct. Like, he has immunity, so he can't plead, and he can't lie. So if he lies to the grand jury, his presidential immunity, he sheds that.
All right, so what I said about that this week, do you remember Carter's funeral?
Yeah.
Donald Trump is sitting next to the bachelor, Barack Obama, because Michelle wouldn't be in the same room with Donald Trump. That's their cover story. But anyhow... And what was Donald Trump and Barack Obama were cracking up. And I think it's because Trump said, you're lucky you got presidential immunity. And you know they're laughing about that.
Oh, absolutely. So, speaking of the DOJ growing some teeth, New York Attorney General Letitia James got hit with a pair of subpoenas yesterday.
Right.
So
mortgage fraud, 30 years in jail.
Yeah, they're digging into not only her own personal mortgage fraud, where she put on there that she married her father to get a better rate. Like, we're going to get these people on dumb things. So Letitia James is in the crosshairs for her mortgage fraud. So is Adam Schiff. They got him dead to rights.
Right.
And they're looking at the $450 million civil fraud case against Trump and how that was put together.
Trump is going to be exonerated from the 33 felonies. That's what's going to happen.
Correct. That's what I see coming.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see perp walks and people in jail?
Oh.
Dude, we have to. Otherwise, when Trump gets out,
I think if it's going to happen to anybody, it would happen to Fonnie Lewis of Georgia or Letitia James of New York. It'd have to be a lower level, state level type of person. I don't know. I really don't know if they're going to. You're going to see a perp rock. Are you going to see Bill or Hillary Clinton in handcuffs?
No, I'm not waiting for that.
Yeah,
it'd be nice.
No, I agree. I don't know, but hey, all bets are off when it comes to what's going on right now. Payback is a B, baby.
Dude, it's wild. So gerrymandering, this in a related kind of thing, the Supreme Court last week said they're going to consider a ban on race-based voting districts.
Right.
Isn't any district that's not drawn using latitude and longitude essentially skewed? Or some kind of natural boundary?
Well, no. Let's unpack that for a minute there, gentleman Jim. If you don't draw the districts in Ohio, the Supreme Court of Ohio delayed Ohio's primary over the gerrymandering thing. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we have until November to redraw our lines in Ohio. So we're next in the thing. But what would be the equitable part? How would you do it? Would you use latitude, longitude? Like, would you use the Mason-Dixon line? Should they be county lines or river borders? What is a fair way? No one's going to agree on a fair way of drawing a district. And as Barack Obama famously said, elections have consequences. How many states have 0 Republican seats? How is that possible? They have 0 because the East Coast have been doing. Massachusetts have been gerrymandering since the Boston Gazette coined the term in the War of 1812.
It's as old as the hill.
Boston Gazette had a photo, like a drawing, of the Democratic Republican Party. It was Jerry who signed the bill in 1812, and his district looked like a salamander. Hence, you have gerrymandering.
Do you think that people in Texas are going to have to vacate their seats? Are they going to push that all the way?
If Texas doesn't do it, nobody will do it.
I hope they do it in Texas. Like, we're in control now. We suffered for a long time. We suffered under Trump 1.0 because of the subversion that was going on underneath the surface. Mm-hmm. We're getting our country back is what we're watching.
Right.
It's pretty incredible, man. Seatbelts on buses. Let's marry that to high school football. So with football, there was all that talk of concussions, and you got to have better helmets and concussion protocol. That's a sanctioned event by the state and the school board where people you voluntarily could get a concussion. If you're so concerned about kids bouncing around the inside of a school bus like popcorn, wouldn't you stop other scenarios where they could get concussions like football?
You blasphemer. You strike that from the record. Don't mess with my football in Ohio.
Wait, I'm going to take it one step further.
No, wait, hold on a minute. George Kittle, he is a beast tight end for San Francisco 49ers. Before every time the defense for the San Francisco 49ers, before they go onto the field, Kittle goes to the sideline, cracks open some ammonia nitrate, smelling salts.
Yeah, dude.
And the NFL they aren't going to ban smelling salts, but because they don't want to be liable for the long-term possible damage of smelling salts, the NFL Players Association, the union, said, our players will be allowed to use smelling salts. They just got to pay for them themselves.
So the liability thing is kind of where I'm going.
Right. So if I think the NFL doesn't want to be on the hook like they are for the CTE stuff, you know. But no.
Think of how much Akron has to pay every time somebody gets shot and they shell out a few $100 million or whatever. There's a similar liability for injuries.
Yeah, but I got to now that I think about
what kind of waivers are signed for football's violent, right?
Yes, that's why we love it.
So, but it's sanctioned by the government. Like the government's telling you this fight's okay, essentially. Like
so is basketball. Sports are accepted nomenclature, meaning that
the government shouldn't spend a penny on it. Right?
No.
It's a very elected thing.
No. You leave football alone. I'm going to come down there and dig you a tunnel in Talmadge.
I'm going to hide in the tunnel.
I got to go, man. I'll see you.
All right, dude.
Take care. Bye.